All right, so let's look at what are the three main business models that you've got. What are the options that you've got available to you? The first one is drop shipping. So drop shipping is where you don't even hold the stock. You don't even buy the stock. Um, so what's your name, sir? Johnny. Okay. So say for example, Johnny is the supplier, and I've bought my widgets from Johnny. Is it Lena? Okay. So if Lena is the customer and she buys from me, and I'm doing a drop ship agreement, then all I do is place an order with my supplier, who's Johnny, and Johnny ships it straight to Lena, and I didn't do anything. Does everyone understand that? So I don't hold any stock, I don't buy any stock, but because I'm not buying in bulk and I'm not really that much of a serious business owner, Johnny looks at me as a bit of a muppet, and he doesn't give me good rates. So he's not letting me buy well. Does that make sense? So it's harder to make good money on that. You might be able. This is a great way of getting started, but generally you need to evolve past that. There's some exceptions to the rule. Like I know some guys who are selling big products like sheds or whatever that are doing well with the drop shipping model. But as a general rule, I don't think it's a very professional model to go down. The other thing is you don't really have control over your customer experience. So if Johnny took ages to ship to Lena, she would be, unhappy with me, even though I might not even know that it hadn't been, shipped at that stage. Or if it was out of stock and I didn't even know, then it's created a bad relationship here when it wasn't even my fault, sort of thing. But the customer doesn't care. So, yeah, that's another downside of it. But it lets you get going really, really quickly and easily. And you can look at things like, for example, worldwidebrands.com is a famous, drop shipping directory where you can meet other, drop shippers. You don't really want to go to Google and search for drop shipping because you're more likely to get ripped off that way. Okay, number 2, wholesaling. This is the business model that we do in our companies. So this is talking about now where you buy from the supplier and you import yourself, or you buy, it could be an Australian supplier that you're buying from. But because you're buying and holding some stock and you're doing some volume, then you can buy better and your maths become better. Remember, psychology and maths. So it definitely makes a difference, but the downside is, you might have to invest, $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever it is to get started with stock. With the import from China, one thing that we found was a lot of people were thinking about, that I had to get a container load of stuff, and import a container load of stuff, but it wasn't the case. Sometimes, especially if you've got smaller type products, you can just use, instead of, stuff doesn't have to go via a ship. You can request it to go by air, and you actually get it a whole bunch quicker, and you can do smaller sizes to test your market. And I recommend, doing smaller things to test your market, even if you know that your maths aren't as good. Make sure that it works, and then the products that have sold really well, then buy those in bulk, or manufacture your own ones if you need to. And then third main model is wholesaling with whitelabeling. So that's where, for example, I'm selling these Logitech presenter clickers, and they're going really well. But then I don't want to compete on price with everyone else who's selling Logitech. So I come up with my own Gregatech, brand or whatever, get the stickers put on, and I think it's going to be the next big thing since Logitech. So the good thing about that is that, it can really work as far as establishing your own brand. So a best example in Australia probably definitely would be the Kogan guys, which I mentioned before. So they're just buying TVs, etc., from the same spot as, Panasonic and Sony, etc., but they're doing it in volume, and they're getting Kogan put on them. It's a great model. So when it comes up, the splash screen says Kogan, the sticker on it says Kogan, the remote on it says Kogan, and it's all basically similar. So that it can really, really work well, because then you're not competing with anyone else on price. You've got your own thing. But obviously there's a little bit more setup. I see a lot of people doing that well now with Amazon as well. There's another big opportunity actually that's going to come to this country. Amazon will be here maybe this year as far as selling physical goods. Amazon.com.au now already sells ebooks, so it's only a question of time until it does. Obviously, like your Jerry Harveys and that are going to be up in an order, like really upset about it. The media is going to have a circus about it, but in reality, it represents just another opportunity. It's just another channel of buyers. So, don't go with the flow with the masses. Look at it as an opportunity and find out how you can become a supplier on there and change over.